Good afternoon, everyone. The calendar has just come over, so as soon as the judge gets on, we'll be ready to go. I apologize for the delay.
Ms. Carol, can you please mute your mic? Ms. Carol Berries,
Hola.
can you mute your mic?
Mute your microphone. Oh,
No hablo inglés.
Puede apagar su micrófono, por favor.
Ok.
Good afternoon, everyone. It looks like we're getting started a little late this afternoon. Who do we have first?
Your Honor, can I give you the reset date for the SAP calendar before we get started?
That'd be wonderful, Ms. Bridgewater.
Yes, sir. It's going to be October the 3rd.
Okay. And I believe everyone's ready whenever you are, Courtroom 2.
Your Honor, I just have one question, Mr. Walker. Ms. Ryans is not on the calendar. And also Charles Payne. I just want to make sure what it in Oviedo.
So Payne is going to be a dismissal, and then what was it? What was the second person?
Michelle Ryans.
Let me look into that case.
Okay.
While you're looking, Mr. Walker, good morning, Your Honor. I represent Mr. Quezada. He needs a Spanish interpreter, and I was wondering if I could be placed into a breakout room at everyone's convenience.
Of course, Ms. Melnick. And do we have an interpreter that we have on? Oh, yes, there you go. Chancey, good afternoon. So Courtroom 2, just know that Ms. Melnick needs the interpreter, so whenever you all get around to it, okay?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Your
Good
Honor, I will also need the interpreter.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Abden.
Your Honor.
Who is your client?
His last name, it's Gallardo Torres.
Okay, so we'll put you in intern also, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, are we ready?
Yes, good afternoon, Judge Morrow. When we do have a courtroom available, we'll make sure we'll go ahead and take care of the interpreter.
I appreciate it, Francois. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to be starting with position number 21, Sanders. It's Sharika.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Sanders. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Sanders, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005585A with simple battery family violence. Who do we have on from pretrial?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Robs. Is there a history?
16 cycles, last arrest November of 2022 for financial transaction card theft, unlawful to possess, display, or use any false, fraudulent, alter ID document. I did not see a disposition. 2 FTAs, 2015 and 2017. Theft by taking conviction, 2017. Theft by shoplifting and giving false name conviction, 2016. And nothing further.
Okay. Whose case is this with the state? Who's presenting for the state?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what case is this again?
We're on position 21, Mr. Walker. Ms. Sanders?
There are two Sanders, they're co-defendants. This is the daughter. This is the
This
daughter.
is, this
This
is
is daughter.
Sharika
Yeah.
Sanders, position number 21. My understanding.
Okay,
That
one
is
second.
correct.
That's mine, Sharika.
All right, I think it's SG White. Can you turn your camera on, please?
I'm sorry. It was, I'm sorry. I had to talk. Sorry about that.
Okay, you ready, Mr. White? Good
Yes, sir.
afternoon.
Good
Okay.
afternoon.
You can proceed.
Yes, give me just a second. Pulling it up now. This is. Sorry for the delay. And this is for Sharika, the daughter, correct?
That's
Yeah.
correct. Position 21.
Okay. Yeah, she's charged with assembly, battery, and we don't see anything that's gonna be, let's see, 2,500. Yeah, we're asking for a $2,500 surety bond with the simple battery.
Okay, you want to give me the facts, Mr. White?
Yes, sir. Give me just a second. Her son entered the home of, I'm not sure if this was exactly whose home it was, but when the son entered the home, he said that the mother hit him, and he came back out and told his mother. And when he came back out and told the mother came out and says that the daughter pushed her. So this is basically a pushing incident from what I read.
Okay, is there an alleged victim that you want to tell me about?
Just a second. Maisha Sanders, who is the mother. Of the daughter.
Okay, so is this an incident between Maisha Sanders and Sharikia Sanders?
Right, mother and daughter.
Okay, do they
Maisha
both live
is
at the same, do they both live at the same residence?
Not from what I understand, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, Ms. Melnick, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor. So what happened is you had several family members at the home. Originally, the cousin and the brother got into a fight. The brother came into the house, the mom, M. Sanders. So mom, M. Sanders, she shoved the brother, he shoved her, and then apparently they got in a face. And the incident report reads, this is what's important though, Your Honor. My client is not the primary aggressor. And I know we're not here for trial today, but my client is not the primary aggressor. The report states that my client, Ms. Sanders, was moving out of the house. It's on the first line of the first or second, third line, saying she had moved out and was retrieving her items. Then, even though there may have been alleged shoving, then the report states that the mom, my client, was walking away down the street. The mom went after my client with a broom. If you look at my client, she does have a busted eye. I asked her if she received any medical treatment for it, but her mom hit her in the eye with a broom. I don't think any jury is going to find that she was the primary aggressor and that the mom is. And so at this point, we're asking for a signature bond because she has moved out. The incident report substantiates that. And the incident report also states that the mother was the one who chased her down the street, hitting her with a broom.
Ms. Melnick, do they live together?
My client had just moved out.
Okay.
Came back to get her car and the last few things.
They do not
Okay.
live together, Your Honor.
Right. She just moved out.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. So you
Good
represent, you represent Ms. Maisha?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, and.
I will handle my client for today.
Okay.
While we're addressing my client, I think it should just be me as attorney of record. I can
Okay.
answer their questions, if you know what I mean.
Ms. Melnick, that's fine. I just need to get a sense of what's going on.
Right.
And who's representing who. We're getting a little slow start today, so I'm just trying to get it together. So
Yes, Your
yes,
Honor.
I'll give you, I don't intend for Ms. McLeod to interrupt any of your presentation at all.
Thank you.
I just need to know who's who.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So given that fact, Mr. White, is the state asking for a stay away?
We are
Okay, and from where?
from the home. Again, when I read it, it just wasn't clear from the report whose home that it actually happened in.
The 3214 Catamaran Drive in Atlanta, that is the mom's home, and my client has moved out and she has no problem staying away from that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Give me that address again, Ms. Melnick, please.
3214, I'm going to spell it, it's Catamaran, Katomarick Drive in Atlanta.
Okay, thank you. Anything further, Mr. White?
That'll be all.
All right, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Maisha Sanders, stay away from the 3214 Drive address, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay. Good luck to you, Ms. Sanders. Can we have the other Ms. Sanders courtroom too?
Yes, it's position 20. Come on, Miss. She needs some help.
Yes, good afternoon to you, Ms. Sanders. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005582A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yes, a total of 5 cycles. Last arrest was from 2011 for driving without a valid license out of DeKalb County. She has no convictions.
Okay. This is also your case, Mr. White.
Yes, sir.
Anything to add?
No, we're just going to ask for the same thing, a $2,500 surety bond.
Okay. Yes, Ms. McLeod.
Good afternoon again, Your Honor. My client is 40 years old. She's the mother of 4 children, 3 of whom are adults, and 1 is a minor who resides with her at her home. This incident happened at her home, Your Honor, when she was actually attacked by 2 of her children, actually. And she tells me that she suffered some injury from that. She She does not have any significant criminal history, Your Honor, and certainly anything that she has is remote. She has no convictions. So I would ask the court to give her a signature bond, and she's okay with her daughter not having any further violent contact with her, but her daughter does not live in the household.
Okay. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness. At this point in time, since it was a no further contact issued for Ms. Sharika, it's also going to be a no further contact for Ms. Maisha. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Position number 3, Booher.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brewer. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ms. Brewer, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005568E with harassing communications. Is there history, Ms. Roberts?
2 cycles. Last arrest was March of 2020 for a DUI in Forsyth. That was a guilty conviction. Nothing further.
Okay. This Mr. Pierre Thomas's case?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Yes, good afternoon. You can proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The facts of the case are essentially that there was between, let me specifically pull it up, one moment. Between May 22nd, 2022 and June 26, 2022, looks like there was a series of communications between the defendant and the victim. The victim asked on several occasions for the defendant to stop communicating with them, at which point she refused. She then threatened, I guess, to commit harm to herself throughout the course of those communications. He continued to ask for, communications to cease. Our office has actually also been in contact with the victim in this case, and he stated that even after he contacted the police in this case, she continued to reach out to him, to be specific, a few months ago. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a $2,000 surety bond.
Are you asking for a no further contact and a stay away?
Yes, Your Honor, my apologies. I'm asking for a no further contact and a stay away. I guess a stay away from the victim. We don't necessarily need to stay away from the incident location, as the victim has since changed locations.
Okay, and will you provide me with his name?
The victim's name in this case, Your Honor, is going to be Dakota, D-A-K-O-T-A, Moore, M-O-O-R-E.
Okay. Ms. McLeod, are you representing?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Mr. Dakota Moore, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. McLeod?
It suits me, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Brewer, I'm going to let you sign yourself out of jail, but no further contact means absolutely no contact. Okay, you understand me? No physical contact, obviously, no phone contact, no internet contact, no contact. If I find that you're in violation, then this bond is subject to being revoked. Okay.
Your Honor, I just wanted to say, Ms. Ward, don't speak. I will speak for you. I just wanted to say that this incident allegedly happened well over a year ago. My client has a restraining order against this person and is not in contact with them at all.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you, Ms. Ward.
Position 9, Harris. And before we start, I just want to make sure courtroom 3 and the Spanish interpreter.
Okay, so who do we have up first? Courtroom 3, can you unmute for me?
I have Mr. What's your name again? Mr. Manatoris.
And this is whose client?
This is my client, Your Honor.
Okay, so can we place courtroom 3, Ms. Abden and Madam Interpreter into a breakout room, please?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all. All right.
Your Honor.
Yes, Ms.
Sorry,
Adler.
Harris, who's up now, is also my client, if you want me to do that before.
I think they're getting somebody else, Ms. Abden.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm sorry, position number 27, Mr. Williams, Jeffrey.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005589Y with reckless conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
19 cycles, last arrest March of 2017 for a probation violation, DUI conviction 2016, a battery, family violence and disorderly conduct conviction 2016, possession of a controlled substance 2007, burglary in 1998, and 1 FTA in 2006, and nothing further.
Ms. Grace, are you with me? Ms. Grace? Who's hosting today?
I thought it was Miss Grace.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we need them placed into the breakout room, Ms. Grace, courtroom 3, Madam Interpreter and Ms. Abden.
I got it.
All right, thank you. Yes, Mr. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 583 Paynes Avenue, where they spoke with the victim, Edward Howard. He advised that he and the defendant got into a physical altercation due to the defendant playing with a gun. That weapon actually was discharged, I believe, 3 times. This case is being reviewed by the DA's office because it's my understanding that the defendant is a convicted felon. So obviously this more than likely will become a felony case. But for right now, the state is asking for a $20,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location. I believe they might live in the same apartment, so at least a stay away from the victim's apartment, and obviously no weapons and drugs or alcohol while on bond.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is actually 67 years old, Your Honor, and it is one building apartment, and their unit, they have 1 to 10. That's all they have. And Mr. Edward Howard resides at number 1, and my client resides at number 10. Your Honor, Edward Howard is probably in Grady Hospital. They were arrested together. They're cross defendants, and Edward Howard used a gun to shoot at my client 3 times. And my client actually has a bleeding right now. He's still bleeding, and the Band-Aid, he really has to change because it is more than what I don't want him to get any kind of infection from his bleeding. Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond. He was a victim of the robbery by Mr. Edward Howard, who had a gun, and it was purely self-defense. And Your Honor, he does not have a phone number, but he gave me his niece's phone number. He has a solid address, and he's retired. He graduated from high school. He also has an associate degree. He does have HVAC, commercial refrigeration license. And Your Honor, he does need to take care of his health right now. We would like to request for signature on bond. And no contact is absolutely fine with my client. Thanks.
So, Mr. Howard, was he?
He's in Grady, probably.
Well, if he's in Grady, was he in Grady because he was shot by a gun? Was there another gun involved, Mr. Walker?
No, I do not know, Your Honor. He had a gun, but he was.
It's not my understanding anybody was shot. The firearm was discharged. It's my understanding that it was discharged by the defendant, and that's why he's charged with reckless conduct.
And who lives at, and it happened, you said, Mr. Walker, I believe at 583 Paynes Avenue?
Yes,
that-
so we're just gonna ask her to stay away from unit 10 since they live in the same apartment building.
Unit 10 is my client's address. So unit 1 is Mr. Howard's address. Cross defendants.
Where did the incident allegedly occur?
I believe it happened in
My
the
client's
defendant's
place.
home. In the defendant's home, I believe.
Yeah, he was robbed.
Okay. All right, it's going to be a $10,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Edward Howard. Stay away from Mr. Howard's unit, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
Do we know what number Mr. Howard's unit is?
1.
Unit 1.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Number 19. Alpharetta. Position 30, Ren.
Good afternoon, Ms. Wren. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Wren, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005592C with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
3 cycles. Last arrest was in 2003 for aggravated assault. That was amended to a battery, and that was a conviction in 2004. And a driving on a suspended license in 1999 conviction, and nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 3060 Far Court. They spoke with the victim of Mr. Freddie Garrison. He advised that him and the defendant were in a verbal altercation turned physical where she scratched him with her keys, leaving a visible scratch that was observed by law enforcement. We're asking for a $1,500 surety bond, no contact with the victim, Freddie Garrison, and a stay away, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 56 years old and she is from Alabama, but she has been here in Georgia ever since 1999. And Your Honor, all her children are adults, and she is currently gainfully employed as a real estate agent and also registered nurse. She also has an associate degree. And Your Honor, I believe that apartment 104, the lease is in her name, and Mr. Garrison was supposed to leave when this was happening at that day, and they no longer, their engagement is actually broken, so they are not in the relationship anymore. So we have no objection to no further contact, and yet she should be returning to her own place. So we would like to request for a one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to verify that Mr. Garrison is no longer there. And if he's not there, I think my client should be able to return home. And we ask for signature on bond, Your Honor. There has not been anything for the last 20 years. So she is recommended. Thanks.
Okay, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Freddie Garrison. She can go back to the 3060 Far Road address with law enforcement to see if Mr. Garrison no longer resides there. If he does not reside there, she is allowed to go back. If he is there, then she'll have to find someplace else to reside. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Wren.
Thank you.
The next one, Judge, she was not on the calendar, so she should be an add-on. The name is Michelle Ryans.
Okay.
And Your Honor,
Go ahead, Mr. Walker.
I just accused that case. It wasn't on my initial pull sheet, so once the clerk pulls the accusation down, I believe we'll have a case number, but I am prepared to go forward.
Okay. Do we have the
The
paperwork?
shoplifting charge.
Okay. Do we have the paperwork, Ms. Bridgewater?
No,
Okay. Do you have, Mr. Walker, can you give me the, do you have the accusation number?
Well, I don't believe, hold on, let me see if they pulled it down.
We can hold off, Judge. I can move on to the next one.
Okay, let's let them get it together. I'd prefer to see if we can handle her today, though, if we can. If not,
Okay, they pulled it down. I have it, Your Honor.
okay. Give me a full
So
name.
it's gonna be Michelle Ryans with an S on the end. The accusation number is 23 CR 005598.
And do you have, I know that since this is an add-on that pretrial probably does not have the history. Do you have the history, Mr. Walker?
I have the history.
Well, I was just gonna
okay.
get the signature bond.
Okay,
Yeah, let's-
all right.
$1,000 signature bond, and stay away from the Walmart on Manziel Road. Let me get that exact address. That address is 970 Mansell, Mansell Road in Roswell. So we just ask for a stay away and $1,000 signature. SOB through the jail. It's fine.
No objection.
Ms. Ryan, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Ms. Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005598 with shoplifting. It will be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Walmart on Manziel Road. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Position number 15, Rich.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rich. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court. Good afternoon, sir. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rich, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005577H with theft by deception. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yeah, 60 cycles. Last arrest was from January of 2023 out of Florida for driver's license expired and grand theft. That case appears to be open. All of his cycles appear to be out of Florida. He has a total of 12 possession of cocaine convictions, with the last being in 2013, 5 convictions for possession of drug paraphernalia, with the last in 2013, robbery conviction 2006, resistant officer conviction 2010, and then an FTA 2003. Nothing further.
Mr. White?
Yes, as you've heard yourself, it's pretty big risk of reoffending, what we're thinking on our side. The facts of the case is this happened June 2022. And it happened to Andrea Podgman, theft by deception. Basically, he impersonated a director that worked at a 365 sober living facility. And he deceived her, saying that he could help her son get into this treatment facility. And the mother paid him $110. And then she also paid him $90 in gift cards. So we're simply asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client, Mr. Rich, is 52 years old and he's qualified for public defender services. He has not been able to have corporate job. Actually, he's working as a therapist, as a self-employment. And Your Honor, he does have a bachelor's degree for psychology, and yet he denies the allegation, Your Honor. He does not even know who that person is. This incident happened June 22nd, 2022, more than a year ago. And my client has no recollection of this incident at all. And he is married and he's facing his foreclosure at his location. He's going through a very serious financial hardships. He's father of 2 grown-up sons, and he has 4 grandchildren. We would like to request for signature on bond for this through jail. Thanks.
Good bond, no further contact with Ms. Podgman, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Rich.
Your Honor, I could not hear the bond amount.
$1,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Podgman, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor,
You gotta go to a bond account.
I can't afford any money.
Please, Mr. Mr. Rich.
Ms. Kim will talk to you after court today, Mr. Rich. Who do we have next?
Position 22, Shepherd. Just to make sure, Judge, for position 15, that was $1,000 good bond, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shepherd. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Shepherd, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005583C with simple assault family violence. Is there a history? Ms. Roberts?
4 cycles, last arrested 2016 for aggravated assault and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. It didn't show what happened to the aggravated assault, but the willful obstruction was a conviction. And then a 2014 conviction for forgery and giving false name. And nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 2909 Campbellton Road, where they spoke with the victim, Yazid Shahab. He advised that his roommate spat in his face. At that time, warrants were taken out for simple assault. We are asking for $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, and to stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your case?
It is my case, Your Honor. My client is 35 years old. He has no significant criminal history, Your Honor, and he tells me that this is simply a verbal dispute with his roommate. He said that his roommate's girlfriend was there and she lied to the officers to suggest that he spat on his roommate, which he did no such thing, Your Honor. I would ask the court to consider giving my client a signature bond so he can get out of jail. He really, even though he's working, he doesn't have any significant funds to pay for bond, Your Honor. And he tells me he doesn't have anyone he could call to help him to make bond. So given what the allegations are, and as I said, a simple dispute between 2 roommates, I would ask for a signature bond for him. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And he understands that he's gonna have to find another place to go in the meantime.
He does.
Ms. McLeod.
He does. Your
Okay.
Honor. Yes.
So it's a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Shahad, stay away from the Campbellton Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Shepherd.
Hi, Judge. Can we do condition number 19?
Okay.
Alvarado. I have 19 and 18, but this one is 19.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see, and this is Mr. Ruhi.
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Ruhi. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005580A with theft by receiving stolen property. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
11 cycles. Last arrest was July of 2021 for burglary, criminal damage to property, and possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance. He appears to be on probation for that case, 22 SC 182338. Disposition was June of 2022, 4 years probation, and then a burglary conviction from 2019. That may also be an active probation. And nothing further.
Mr. White?
From the report, the defendant seems to have stolen a tablet from, looks like a restaurant. I can't pronounce the name of this restaurant, but it's Las Delicious, something like that. And we're asking for a $1,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from that location. And that address of that location is 1470 Holcomb Bridge Road. Oh, take that back. Take that back. That's actually where they picked him up at was Georgia 120 Cotton Creek entry, and I'm just not sure if that's the actual address of that restaurant.
Okay, so can you spell the name of the restaurant for the court?
I can. LAS, D is in dog, E is in Eric, LIC is in cat, IAS. Then I have D is in dog, E is in Eric, LA. Then we have A, B is in boy, U, E is in Eric, LA.
Okay. Was the do you have any additional facts, Mr. White, as regards to this matter?
No, sir. So the police officer saw the victim walking, and his attire matched the attire that some of the suspects that they had been looking for some burglaries and stuff. And he pulled him over. I mean, he kind of stopped him from walking, and he asked to search the book bag, and he allowed him to search the book bag, and a tablet was in it that was stolen from a restaurant.
Okay. This your case, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, and stay away from the La Delicias Della restaurant. Is that fine with you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, I just want to put this in a record. I mean, the warrant does not say that he actually stole from that restaurant at all. It clearly says that he looked like somebody in that restaurant who stole from that restaurant. But my client is basically, there's no evidence that my client actually stole that tablet at all. He just got it from someone who stole it. He got it and he paid for it, I guess. That's all.
And that's why I'm giving him a signature bond, Ms. Kim.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you.
This is fine.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
position number 18.
Okay. And this is Mr. Role Wiley.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005581F with public drunk, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
2 cycles. Last arrest was May of this year for battery and criminal trespass out of Cobb County. He appears to be on probation for that case from June of this year, 11 months and 6 days probation, and nothing further.
Yes, Mr. White.
Yeah, it looks like he was in Waffle House yelling at some employees that work at the Waffle House, that he did this in a partially undressed nature and refused to leave, and he was reeking of alcohol. We're asking for a $3,500 total surety bond. That's $500 for the public drunkenness, $500 for the marijuana, and $2,500 for the willful obstruction of the law enforcement officer.
Stay away.
Yep, stay away from the Waffle House. I have the location of that. That's 1470 Holcomb Bridge Road. No alcohol, drugs, weapons. And that'll be all.
Is this your case, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
If it's okay with you, for the public drunk, a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the obstruction, a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. For the marijuana, $500 signature bond through the jail, makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Waffle House on Holcomb Bridge Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Roley-Wally.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it for Alpharetta.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Position number 12, Mr. Preston. And before we move forward with this case, Judge, just real quick announcement for position number 15, Mr. Rich. He had a statement. He wanted to come before you again.
That's up to his, that'll be up to his lawyer. You need to
Please
call-
ask him to call me. I'll be happy to talk to him.
I am the director. I wasn't impersonating anybody. I am the director of 365. I wasn't impersonating
Okay, you're
anybody.
just gonna have to call Ms. Kim.
I am.
Position 12, Mr. Preston.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Preston. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005573G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
4 cycles. Last arrest May of 2020 for possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, criminal trespass, armed robbery, theft by shoplifting, and aggravated assault. He appears to be on probation for criminal attempt to commit a felony and aggravated assault, 20 SC 177229. That's March of 2022, 4 years probation. And then also appears to be on probation for robbery and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, 12 SC 115593 from April of 2014, 7 years confinement, 3 years probation, and nothing further.
Mr. White?
Yes, sir. Big risk of reoffending, we think, probably still a danger to society. Mr. Preston, he wanted his mother removed from the residence, and he did that by grabbing her neck and trying to actually remove her from the residence. With this history, we're just concerned, that again, he could still be, a danger and could even also risk reoffending as well. So we're asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further contact with the victim if she's not here to speak for herself, and 1 day anger awareness.
Who is the alleged victim? The name?
Give me one. Vanessa Preston, Vanessa. Preston.
Vanessa, okay, and is there a stay away?
Yes, we would like that.
Your Honor, that is my client's home.
Okay, I still need for Mr.
Okay.
White to complete his presentation as far as where the stay away is since he's requesting it.
Well, we just want to stay away from the victim.
Okay, well, if the victim is living in the home, he can't stay away from the victim if they're both living together, can he?
Yeah, are they living together? I'm not sure if they are.
Ms. McLeod?
Your Honor, my client tells me that his mom is in and out of prison and jail, and she just recently came to jail and came by his house. He was there with his 2 young children. She doesn't live there, Your Honor, and he said he tried to explain that to the police officer when they came over, that his mom doesn't live there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, my client is 26 years old, Your Honor. He is the father of 2 young boys, a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. He tells me that he has some training as an electrician and does work as such, but he's been having difficulty of late securing sufficient work to keep him in a situation where he has sufficient money for extras, such as bond, for example. He tells me that he's been having some issues with his mother for a while, and that she showed up at his house, was speaking in front of his young children, cursing and swearing, and he asked her to leave and she would not leave. And he called the police and he ended up being arrested.
Okay.
The fact that he does not have an extensive criminal history, Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond so he could get out of jail and get back to taking care of his 2 boys. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Further, Mr. White?
Yeah, I think she just said that he doesn't have an extensive criminal history. I think we just heard that he did, so.
I don't think 4 cycles is extensive.
Okay, it's gonna be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Preston, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Preston.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome. Position 9, Harris.
Yo, one more time. Do not open the court with fellas that I brought in. I didn't tell you, do not.
Whenever you all are ready, courtroom 2, just let me know.
Oh, I thought you heard me, Judge. I'm sorry. Position 9, Harris.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Harris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Good afternoon. Thank you, ma'am. You have been charged in case 20. You have been charged in case 23 CR 005591F with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
7 cycles, last arrest September of 2022 for driving while license suspended or revoked in battery, family violence in Lake City, Georgia. That case appears to be open. 1 FTA from 2014 and 1 conviction for criminal trespass in 2010. And nothing further.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what position is this?
We're on position number 9, Mr. Walker.
I think that's Mr. Thomas's case. I mean, Mr.
Yes, Your Honor, I thought I had my camera on. My apologies. Your Honor, the state will be asking for a $3,000 good bond. This case involves, I guess, essentially 2 minors, or actually 3 minors. There were 3 minors having a violent altercation at the school. I think it's believed that the defendant is the mother of 2 of the minors that were having an altercation with another minor. And it's believed that the mother not only encouraged the fight to happen, but that she also, it says, according to the warrant, she pulled the victim by her hair. If the court would like, I can spell the name out of the minor victim. If not, we can waive sounding on that. The incident location in this particular situation is Benjamin E. Mays Drive, or high school on Benjamin E. Mays Drive, address 3450 Benjamin E. Mays Drive Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Your Honor. And obviously, we'd like to have no contact with the victim in this case.
Thank you, Mr. Pierre Thomas. Ms. Abden, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So my client's 40 years old. She was born in Georgia, has lived here her whole life. She has 5 children. They're all minors. She went to Emory for 3 years for pediatric nursing and biology. She currently works as a home health aide, which she's been doing for the past 15 years. And she also has a part-time job doing hair. She firmly denies these allegations. This is her daughter's school. The incident address, as you've heard, the incident allegedly occurred in April 23rd of 2023. So it was some time ago. She tells me that she was not involved in the altercation, and she denies the allegations. I am asking for a signature bond for my client, and she would be okay with a stay away. And no further contact.
Signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with the alleged victim. Mr. Pierre Thomas, if you wouldn't mind putting that into the name into the chat to Ms. Bridgewater, would appreciate it. Stay away from Benjamin E. Mays High School. I think
it's Benjamin E. Mays Drive. It's on, the high school is on that street as well.
Okay, very good. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay, but what I didn't get, Your Honor, was the amount of the bond.
$3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the
Gotcha.
judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, who to send the direct message to? I'm ready.
Ms. Holly Bridgewater.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Harris.
Thank you. Judge, we are actually ready for the Spanish interpreter to do the breakout for courtroom 3, and it's going to be Mr. Golrado. And that's for, no, I'm sorry.
Morris.
Posada. That's going to be
Posada.
What do we know what position that is?
It's going to be Miss Melnick's case, and that's position number, I'm still checking. Position 7.
So, Ms. Melnick, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Are you ready to go into the breakout room with your client and the interpreter?
I already went.
Oh, you've already been?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So are we ready to proceed with that case, courtroom 2?
Yes, that's fine, Judge.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Chancellor, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that you will translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Valerio Torres. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señor Gallardo Torres. Yo soy el juez Morrow y estamos conduciendo esta audiencia en línea y a distancia. ¿Está de acuerdo que continuemos tratando su caso de esta manera?
It's not you. Francois, I'm sorry. I think you all have position number 7 in courtroom number 2.
Okay, so what's your name?
Manuel Torres.
Okay. Yeah, position number 7, Gallardo, that's your name? Okay, yeah, yes,
Okay, so he's position 7?
I'm sorry, the guy that's in courtroom 3, Quezada, he's
Esa.
position 13.
Okay.
Can we just do Mr. Quezada while we're here?
Courtroom 2, can we just go?
We're gonna go ahead with courtroom 3 with position number 7, Mr. Gallardo. Oh, I mean, Mr. 13, Mr. Quezada, I'm getting confused. I'm sorry.
Francois, is it all right if you just do Mr.
Okay, that's fine, Judge, that's fine. Come
Since
on.
I'm halfway through talking to him.
I apologize.
You're fine.
No, say it.
So this is number 7 here?
That's correct.
Okay.
And Madam Interpreter, would you let him know what I just said, please?
Señor Gallardo Torres, yo soy el juez Morrow y estoy conduciendo todos los casos estatales de trámite rápido a distancia y en línea. ¿Está de acuerdo con que manejemos su caso de esta manera? Yes.
You have been charged with battery family violence.
Usted tiene un cargo de golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar.
Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
¿Hay antecedentes, señora Roberts?
Judge, I was getting kind of confused. Which position is this?
We're on position number 7.
Okay. Three cycles.
Tres ciclos.
Last arrest was from August of 2019 for driving without a valid license.
El último arresto fue en agosto del 2019 por manejar sin licencia.
That was a conviction.
Y hubo una convicción.
Nothing further.
Nada más.
Yes, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
You know, the facts of the case is that officers were dispatched to looks like what was Holly Ridge Apartments, based on a fight in progress call. Looks like the victim is the one.
Mr. Pierre Thomas, if you'll give the interpreter.
forgot.
No, you're fine.
It's okay. Bueno, tenemos como información que los oficiales llegaron a la dirección de Hollywood Road, en donde se vio que se estaba desarrollando o se había desarrollado una pelea.
Once officers arrived, the victim being Tania Carlina Barrios Cortez.
Y con la víctima siendo Tania Carolina Barrios Cortés.
Advised that her and her husband got into a physical altercation.
Dijo que ella y su esposa se habían involucrado en una pelea física.
Officers observed, the victim stated that she had been struck in the face by her husband.
La víctima declaró que había sido golpeada en la cara por el esposo.
Officers observed blood coming from her nose as well as a baby wipe with blood on it.
Los oficiales observaron que tenía sangre en la nariz y también una toallita para limpiar de bebé con sangre en ella.
Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim, and she's advised that the defendant gets quite aggressive when he's been drinking.
Los oficiales trataron de contactarse con ella y quien declaró que el acusado se vuelve muy agresivo después que bebe alcohol.
Your Honor, for that reason, the state would be requesting a $3,000 good bond, a no contact with the victim.
Por eso la fiscalía pide una fianza de $3,000 bajo garantía y que no tenga más contacto con la víctima.
A stay away from the incident location listed as.
También que se mantenga alejado de la dirección donde ocurrió el incidente, que está detallado de la siguiente manera.
1620 Hollywood Road here in Atlanta, Fulton County.
El 1620 Hollywood Road, aquí en Atlanta, el condado de Fulton.
We'd also like if the court is so inclined, we'd also like for the defendant to participate in a family violence intervention program.
Y también, si el juez, su señoría está de acuerdo, queremos que este acusado participe en una clase de intervención de violencia familiar.
Lastly, no drugs, alcohol, or firearms. Nothing further from the state, Your
Y
Honor.
que se quede prohibido el uso de alcohol, armas y drogas. Nada más, su señoría.
Madam Interpreter, would you sound for the alleged victim? Do you have her name? ma'am?
Señora Carolina, Tania Carolina Barrios Cortés, I saw someone with the name of Carol Barrios. Señora Carolina Barrios, ahí la veo. Yeah, she's on the platform, Your Honor. ¿Puede prender su micrófono, por favor? El juez la está llamando. There she is.
Okay, Ms. Barrios, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You do not have to, but if you would like to address the court, we're happy to hear from you.
Señora Barrios, si usted quiere hablar conmigo, el juez, esta es la oportunidad que usted tiene para hacerlo. Usted no está obligada a hacerlo, pero si usted desea hablar conmigo, con mucho gusto la escucharé.
Okay.
Okay, okay, is that yes?
¿Sí?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, if you can raise your right hand for me.
Levante su mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Jura o afirma que la declaración que dará ante este juez será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
I do.
You can put your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Puede bajar su mano. ¿Qué quisiera decirme? Y haga pausa, por favor.
Pues para mí que no le pusieran la orden de alejamiento, porque como tengo 2 niños con él.
I would like for him not to be distanced because I have 2 children with him.
Has this ever happened before?
¿Ha sucedido esto antes?
No así como antier, pero solo nomás que él vaya a clases para el alcohol y todo eso, porque se vuelve muy violento cuando toma.
Not this way, as it happened on the day before yesterday. I will be okay with classes of, about drinking alcohol because he becomes violent when he does drink.
Are you afraid of him?
¿Usted le tiene miedo a él?
No, la verdad no.
To tell you the truth, I don't.
Okay. Anything further, ma'am?
¿Algo más, señora, que me quiera decir?
No, solamente.
No, that's all.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Ms. Abden?
Thank you,
Señora
Your Honor. My client's 37 years old. He's been living in Georgia since the year 2000. He's a father to 3 minor children, a 14-year-old daughter who lives with her mother, and 2 children with the complaining witness, as you've heard. One of those children.
One moment, Miss
Oh, I
Abden.
totally
That's
forgot
okay.
about.
Mi cliente tiene 37 años y ha estado viviendo en el estado de Georgia desde el año 2000. Él tiene 3 niños menores de 18 años, una hija de 14 años que no vive con él y otros 2 con la señora víctima. Thank you.
Thank you. And he does have a newborn who was born around 16 days ago, and a 2-year-old with the complaining witness.
Él tiene un recién nacido que desde hace 16 días y una hija de 2 años con la demandante.
He's gainfully employed.
Él trabaja por un sueldo.
He works at Kelly Auto Care. He does detailing where he's been working for the past 6 years.
Él trabaja en un lugar en donde se llama Kelly Auto Care. Él hace limpieza profunda de automóviles y lo ha hecho durante 6 años.
He's the primary breadwinner and has familial obligations to those 2 children.
Él es el único proveedor financiero y tiene obligaciones hacia esos 2 niños.
As he has no violent criminal history or prior felony convictions. I would object to the family violence intervention program, especially because these are mere allegations at this time.
Debido a que no tiene antecedentes de cargos como por violencia, ni tampoco delitos mayores, yo pongo objeto que se le otorgue un programa de violencia familiar, de intervención.
Your Honor, I'm asking for a signature bond for my client so he can return to work and be with his family.
Yo entonces solicito que una fianza bajo firma por mi cliente para que él pueda volver a trabajar y proveer para su familia.
That is all.
Eso es todo.
Okay, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail.
Va a ser otorga una fianza de $3,000 bajo firma a través de la cárcel.
No further violent contact with Miss Carolina Berrios.
No tener ningún contacto violento con la señora Carolina Barrios.
No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté bajo fianza.
Mr. Gallardo Torres, you cannot have anything to drink while you are on bond.
Señor Gallardo Torres, usted no tiene prohibido beber.
If you
nada.
violate this condition, you'll be right back where you are.
Si usted no cumple con esta condición ordenada, va a volver, va a regresar a donde está ahora.
I'm giving you a signature bond to give you the opportunity to take care of those two little children of yours.
Le estoy dando una fianza bajo firma para darle la oportunidad de cuidar a esos dos pequeñitos hijos que tiene.
And that should be your primary concern.
Y ese debe ser su deber primordial.
Good luck to you, sir. You
Buena
also, Ms.
suerte.
Berrios.
Buena suerte, señor.
Would you all like to do courtroom 3 now?
Yes, that's fine, Judge.
Okay. And tell me what position we have in courtroom 3.
Position 13.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Quezada. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señor Quesada. Yo soy el juez Morro y estoy conduciendo la lista de causas estatales de trámite rápido a través de video, a distancia. ¿Está de acuerdo con que continuemos su caso de esta manera?
Sí.
Yes.
You have been charged with battery family violence.
Usted tiene un cargo de golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar.
Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
¿Hay antecedentes, señora Roberts?
Yes, 3 cycles. Last arrest was August of 2019 for driving without a valid license.
3 ciclos. La última arresto fue en agosto del 2019 por manejar sin licencia.
And 2 convictions, both for driving without a valid license, 2017 and 2020.
Y tiene 2 sentencias por manejar sin licencia, uno en el 2017 y el otro en el 2020.
Nothing further.
Nada más.
Mr. White?
Señor White?
Yes, when the police officers came to 2 Cedar Run, Sandy Springs.
I'm sorry, Cedar
Run.
Run, thank you. Cuando los oficiales llegaron al 2 Cedar Run, el domicilio,
What they found was that the defendant intentionally had grabbed the victim, Maria Mendez Avila, causing visible bruises, redness, swelling, because she had a male friend over at the apartment.
Cuando encontraron que este acusado había tomado a la señora María Méndez y le había causado moretones y golpes y lesiones debido a que había un varón extraño en el lugar.
So the state is going to ask for a $2,000 surety bond.
Entonces la fiscalía pide una fianza bajo garantía de $2,000.
That's going to be with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the location that I mentioned, and contact with the child through a third party because they do share the child, and 1 day anger awareness.
En lo que entonces la fiscalía pide es una fianza bajo garantía de $2,000, que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, armas y alcohol, que no haya ningún tipo de contacto más con la víctima, que se mantenga alejada de la dirección antes mencionada, que se establezca una tercera persona para transportar los niños para la visita, ya que tienen un menor entre los dos, y que tome un programa o clase de concientización de la ira.
That's all from the state.
Eso es todo de la fiscalía.
Ms. Mendez, I see you there. Are you in need of the interpreter?
Señora Méndez, ¿necesita el intérprete?
No.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Mendez. If you would like to address the court, I'm happy to hear from you. You do not have to address the court, but if you would like to, I need for you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to take that charge off. I mean that no contact. I would love to have contact with him just because it's the first time it's ever happened. And we do have a daughter together. We do live together and all his items are here. And he's actually the only one who's working, helps us out around the house. And I'm not scared of him. I feel safe around him. It was just a altercation that got over than what it's supposed to. It was not supposed to be that serious, but police were called and it just did.
Has this ever happened before?
No, it never happened actually.
Thank you, Ms. Mendez. Yes, Ms. Melnick.
Yes, Your Honor. My client has significant ties to the community. He has his mother and sister both living here in the Sandy Springs area. I did explain that if he was given...
Un momento, por favor.
Oh gosh,
Thank you.
we're all done. We've all done it to you. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Mi cliente tiene familiares, lo que lo hace estar establecido en esta ciudad. He has significant family ties.
Yes.
And what else?
I forgot what I said. He has significant family ties to the community. His mother and sister live in Sandy Springs.
La madre y la hermana viven en Sandy Springs.
Okay. He is gainfully employed and works construction.
Él trabaja en la construcción y tiene un puesto que trabaja por un salario.
And he may have had some driving issues in the past, but there's no history of violence.
Puede que haya tenido algunos problemas con manejando, pero no tiene ningún cargo relacionado con la violencia.
The complaining witness is on the Zoom call and says she is not scared of him.
La víctima está en la plataforma de Zoom, por lo tanto no le teme.
And I also didn't hear from the state as to how my client received all those bruises and bandages on his face.
Tampoco escuché a la fiscalía decir cómo mi cliente recibió todos estos moretones y puntos en la cara.
because he wasn't charged with obstruction. I just want to note that for the record, that my client is severely bruised in his face, and I didn't hear any reasonable explanation for it.
Porque quiero dejar en el acta que también tiene considerado importantes moretones y lesiones en la cara, pero no escuché nada de esa información de parte de la fiscalía.
Your Honor, given all that I've said with the no violent history, the complaining witness not being scared, and the fact that he does have another place to live, we're asking for a signature bond in the amount of $2,000.
Debido a que él no tiene antecedentes de delitos relacionados con la violencia y que él puede vivir en otro lugar, pedimos una fianza de $2,000. Was that a signature bond, madam?
Yes, please.
Una fianza de $2,000 bajo firma.
Anything further, Ms. Melnick?
No, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
Right, it's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ms. Mendez. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Entonces, la fianza es de $3,000, una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel. Queda prohibido el contacto violento con la señora Méndez y también queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté bajo fianza.
Good luck to you, Mr. Quezada.
Buena suerte, señor Quesada.
You have a question, Ms. Mendez?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta, señora Méndez?
So I won't be able to have contact with him at all.
Entonces no podré tener contacto con él.
I said no further violent contact with
Oh,
you,
I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Mendez.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No, dije no más contacto violento. Muy bien, gracias.
All right, thank you all. And do we need Madam Interpreter for any other cases this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Chancellor. We appreciate you as always.
You're welcome. Have a good evening, sir.
Do the
Goodbye.
same. Who do we have next?
Position number
Your
8.
Honor, may I
Greenwood.
please have a 1 minute? I forgot to address that. We have a representative from PAD, Ms. Aris Montero. It's kind of important that she already interviewed one of our defendants, my client, Mr. Rauhi, and Mr. Rauhi consented to be released to PAD since he is residentially challenged. But I do need consent from Mr. ASG White. So I was wondering if I can get that.
He was given a signature bond, Ms. Kim.
Right,
Why do-
right.
Why do you need consent for him to go anywhere?
Because there should be no condition that his case has to be kind of like dismissed in a sense. Mr. Walker, would you like to address
I don't
that?
know anything about dismissal, but if you need my consent for him to go to PAD, sure.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker. I'm sorry, who do we have courtroom to?
Position 8, Greenwood.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Greenwood. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, yes, sir.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 005575A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
No, first arrest.
Yes, Mr. Walker.
I apologize, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state will be seeking a,
Oh.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Pierre Thomas. I didn't know that this was your case. Go ahead.
Your Honor, the state will be seeking a $1,000 good bond. The facts of the case are essentially that there was an altercation that took place between the defendant and her husband. I believe she is alleged to have sprayed a cleaning agent in his, or threw a cleaning agent in his face. And as we heard, she has no previous history. And so we'd be asking for a no further violent contact provision as well.
And who is the alleged victim?
The alleged victim, Your Honor, is Mr. Akil, Ahkell Greenwood, Greenwood.
Thank you. I see you there, Mr. Greenwood. Good afternoon. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You, of course, do not have to, but if you would like to, I need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Greenwood. What would you like to tell the court?
There's a few things that I would request that she could have contact. She does have, number one, she has a job, and currently I got laid off, so I'm unemployed. So finances are a little bit difficult at the moment. This is, sorry, she can, she's not a threat to a flight risk. She's not a threat to me. This was kind of just an argument gone wrong, and I'm very comfortable having contact with her.
So this has never happened before?
Nothing like this. Like I said, no prior. She's nothing like this.
Okay, you're not afraid of her?
No, not at all.
And you like her back in the household?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Greenwood?
She also has other ties in the community. We attend church groups together, marriage groups. So also another reason why I'm not fearful at any moment.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Abden, if it's okay with you, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Greenwood, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
That sounds great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Greenwood. You also, Mr. Greenwood.
Judge, I'm sorry, was it through pretrial?
Yes, it was. It
Okay,
is.
thank you. Position 5, Clemens.
Good afternoon, Ms. Clemens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Clemens, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005596F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
2 cycles, last arrest, May of 2023, for battery, willful obstruction, criminal trespass, and arson. That's an open case out of Clayton County, and nothing further.
Your Honor, the state will be requesting a $2,500 good bond given the presence of the open case for the basically similar or same charges. Your Honor, the facts arising out of this case is that there was an incident that took place at 3640 South Fulton Avenue in Hapeville, Your Honor. There was an incident that happened at that apartment complex between the 2 individuals that were dating. The alleged victim in this case is Mr. Justin Rowe, Rowe spelled R-O-W-E. It is alleged that she scratched the victim, leaving visible marks. And so for that reason, Your Honor, we believe that there's a risk to reoffend, and that she is a danger to the victim in this case. And so we'd be asking for a no contact and to stay away from that incident location. Again, that location being in Hapeville. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Have you all had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Rowe?
One moment, Your Honor. I believe Mr. Rowe is a
Yes, I'm present.
Okay, Mr. Rowe, if you would like to address the court, I'm going to need for you to activate your camera.
Can you walk me through how to do that? I've been trying to cut it on. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, I cannot, but when you logged on, there should have been a button that says activate your camera. Okay, there you go. So now you just have to unmute yourself. Okay, you with me, Mr. Rowe?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what would you like to tell the court?
She is not a danger to me. I don't find her as a threat. I would just like no violent contact. We were at her apartment. She asked me to leave. It was just an argument with the windows open. So it's really nothing on her half. It's really my fault. And the officer wasn't trying to really hear my end.
Okay, so you all don't live together at the Fulton Avenue address in Hapeville?
No, sir, that's her apartment. I have my own apartment on Panola.
Okay, and you're not afraid of her?
No, sir.
And has this ever happened before?
No, sir.
Okay, anything further?
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rowe.
No problem.
Let's see, Ms. Abdon, if it's fine with you, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Rowe, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Clemens. You also, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Position 2, Blades.
Good afternoon, Ms. Blades. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Act. Good afternoon, ma'am. Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Blades, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005569J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
No, first arrest.
Mr. Pierre Thomas?
I was muted. I'm sorry. Your Honor, the state would be requesting a $1,000 surety bond, given the lack thereof criminal history, and the idea that this is an incident that occurred at the home that is shared between the victim and the defendant, the victim being the daughter of the defendant. And so for that, Your Honor, we just be requesting a $1,000 surety bond.
Do you have the daughter's name?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. My computer somewhat froze.
I got you. It's Tamara Blades.
And Mr. Pierre Thomas, you're not requesting a no
My
further
apologies.
contact or stay away?
No further violent contact, Your Honor.
Okay, how old is, do we know how old Tamara is, Ms. Abdon?
20.
Okay, so she's an adult.
Yes, and she does not reside in the home. She lives with her boyfriend somewhere else.
Okay, given the history, if it's okay with you, Ms. Abdon, it's gonna be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Tamara Blades, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Abdon?
Yes, Your Honor, would you be inclined to do a signature bond through the jail? My client has an adult child who has a disability who she needs to care for, so a less restrictive signature bond would be preferable.
Okay, it'll be given that it's a first arrest, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Tamara Blades, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Blades. You're welcome.
Position 29, Wilson. Xavier Wilson.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Mr. Wilson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005590E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
7 cycles, last arrest April of 2022 for aggravated assault and obstructing or hindering person making emergency telephone call out of DeKalb County. That's an open case. I have nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 6875 Kimberly Mill Road, where they spoke to the victim, Miss Mayana Johnson. She advised that the defendant grabbed her by her neck and slammed her into the wall. We are requesting a $3,500 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Miss Mayana Johnson. Stay away from the incident location along with the DHET. And I would ask the court to sound for the victim to see if she's present.
If Ms. Mayana Johnson is present and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Has your office spoken with her, Mr. Walker? Do you know?
We have, Your Honor.
Okay, and what was her request?
It's my understanding that she's fearful of the defendant. She advised to, which I'm sorry, I omitted this. They have a DV history, and she believes that there's some MH issues at play. None that rise to competency, but some that still need to be addressed. And that was the basis for the DHET.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, my client is 33 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia, Your Honor, and he has actually 2 children that he is supporting, 9 and 10 years old. He's gainfully employed. He actually manages his brother's rapping career as a musician, and also he does video games streaming. He's been doing that for about 10 years. So he's not qualified for public defender's services. So my purpose for this hearing is only for the bond hearing. And Your Honor, he graduated from high school, and we would like to request for maximum $1,000 good bond. He has no objection to have no contact with her, even though he strongly prefers no further violent contact. And also, Your Honor, this 6875 Kimberly Mill is his house. So I think it is the complaining witness, if she leaves the premises, I want my client to be able to return to the home.
Does she live there, Ms. Kim?
I believe she left. And yet we just want to double check with a one-time law enforcement officer, escort visit to make sure that she is not there.
Did she leave? I mean, was she living there prior to these allegations?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, well, that was just yesterday. So she's moved out since yesterday with her children?
She does not have a children. The children are with another lady.
Oh, so
It's my understanding that they all live at that address, so we will be asking for the stay away.
okay. But and so Ms. Johnson and Mr. Wilson don't have any children together, is what you're telling me, Ms. Kim?
Not yet.
Okay. It's going to be a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Johnson. You can modify this later, Ms. Kim, if need be, but given that this happened yesterday, I don't know if she could move out in one overnight. So I'm going to have him stay away from the 6875 Kimberly Mill Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Wilson.
I stay there. That's my house.
Okay. Well, it's my understanding, Mr. Wilson, that Ms. Johnson also lives there.
So I can't come back to my house.
You can go back there on one occasion with law, not while she lives there, Mr. Wilson. At this time, you can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings, but as long as she's living there, you're gonna have to find someplace else to reside.
The lease is in my name. My name not on the lease.
Well, quite often there are people's names that aren't on leases and that they're subletting or they're rented. You just can't kick somebody out. You can go through the process of doing that if that's your property, but if she lives there, you'll have to go through a different process. At this point in time, you can go and retrieve your belongings. And I'm happy to let you speak with Ms. Kim at another time regarding this matter. Good luck to you, Mr. Wilson.
And that was a $2,000 good bond, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Position, thank you. Position 28, Mr. Larry Wilson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. You have been charged in case 23 CR 005593C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
11 cycles, last arrest January of this year for battery. Case number is 23 CR 000435C. A 2011 conviction for aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 2010 conviction for giving false name, and then an armed robbery and aggravated assault conviction in 1992. Nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 15 Oak Drive where they spoke to the victim and Ms. Eureka Jones. She advised the defendant and her were engaged in a verbal altercation where he became physical. He punched her multiple times. The officer did observe swelling to the victim. The state is asking for a $4,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Eureka Jones, and to stay away from the incident location of 15 Oak Drive.
Mr. Walker, do you know that January incident with the alleged?
I'm sorry, the internet is, my connection is breaking up, but I'm looking to see if I could find the victim in that case, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. That was going to be my question. And let's see, if Ms. Eureka Jones is on the line and would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 49 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. Your Honor, his mom is here locally as well. And they have 3 children. Together they have 1 child, but he has 3 children. With Ms. Jones and my client, their child is 4 years old. However, my client already legitimated all 3 of them, and he has full custody of those 3 children. And he's been gainfully employed at Crew One Production as an AVC traction. So he's been doing that about 1.5 years, and he graduated from high school. He is not qualified for public defender services. Your Honor, he denies the allegation, and he feels like he was trapped or falsely accused by Ms. Jones because their relationship is no longer valid anymore, and he does not want to return home. So it is vindictive motivation that Ms. Jones has against him. So he claims for innocence. We would like to request for a maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
So Ms. Kim, does he need to go back to the 15 Oak Drive address to retrieve
Yes,
belongings?
at least
No?
1 time. Yes,
Okay.
he does.
Oh, he's saying no, but I will allow him to go back there 1 occasion if he needs to. So it's
Yes.
going to be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Eureka Jones. Mr. Walker, I'm sorry. Did you have any information?
I'm sorry, I'm searching, but my Odyssey keeps freezing, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull it up.
Okay, well, it's my understanding that was a battery charge and not a battery family violence charge. Is that right?
That's what I have too, Your Honor.
Okay, so it'll be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Jones, stay away from the 15 Oak Drive address. If need be, he can go back to that address on 1 occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, okay? Good
Your
luck to you,
Honor.
Mr. Wilson. Yes, Ms.
Your Honor, can you also have a third-party transfer? They have a child together, 4 years old.
Okay, and he is, I believe you said.
I'm sorry, I got that information. So it is the same victim. He was previously ordered to have no contact and to stay away from that residence. Sorry, my Odyssey is just now.
Okay, no,
Sorry, working.
you're fine. Mr. Walker? Okay, so he shouldn't be at that address, so no further contact with Ms. Jones. Stay away from the Oak Drive address. He should not have to go back there because he should not have been there to begin with. I'll leave it at the $1,000 good bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Wilson. Oh, and third-party transfer of the children for visitation.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're
Thank you,
welcome,
sir.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you okay? Position 30, Win. Oh, no, you know what? I'm sorry. That's Levant Win, position 31.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Nguyen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Nguyen, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005594F with simple battery and battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
No, first arrest.
Okay, Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 864 Westmont Street. They spoke with the victim and Miss Jasmine Nguyen, that is the defendant's wife. She advised that her and her husband were engaged in a verbal altercation when he turned or became physical. He pushed her down to the ground and caused her to fall onto a microwave, causing a visible injury. At that time, I believe that her sister, Miss Satalia Portillo, came to her aid, and he then subsequently turned and kicked her sister as well. So we're going to be asking for a $3,000 surety bond to the count of battery family violence, a $2,000 surety bond to the count of simple battery. No further contact with both victims. Stay away from 864 what's the address? 864 Westmont, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Ms. Nguyen, I see you there. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in.
Okay, yeah, let me get. Don't know. I don't know how to set it up for the camera.
There should be a button at the bottom of the screen that says activate camera. Mr. Walker or Ms. Kim, have either of you all had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Nguyen prior to the hearing today?
Miss Nguyen, no, I was not able to talk to her. However, my client has no objection to stay away or no further contact with her. So if you want me to, I can go ahead and move forward, defend my client.
Okay, Ms. Nguyen, I will need for you, if you would like to address the court, you'll have to activate your camera for me. If you can get that done, I'm happy to hear from you. Ms. Kim, okay, go ahead, Ms. Kim.
Okay, Your Honor, my client is 31 years old and he was born and raised here in Georgia. Well, I guess apparently they're going through a divorce, and she left the premises about 2 months ago. She moved out. So that house is actually, his name is on the deed, and he's the one who pays for the mortgage solely 100%. So we would like to request for him to return home since she's not going to be there. And she has, as long as he gets third-party transfer for their 3-year-old child, he does not have any objection to stay away, not stay away, no further contact with her. And Your Honor, he's gainfully employed as a realtor. He's actually associate broker. He graduated from high school. He's also Marine veteran. He was discharged honorably. He served from 2011 to 2015, Your Honor, and he's not qualified for public defender services. We would like to request for a signature on bond since this is his first time. And Your Honor, he denies the allegations. And I just want to clarify that at the Odyssey, there are 3 simple batteries. So only first 2 were accused. And then the third one, we didn't receive any NOD or some kind of clarification about it. So I just want to make sure that that gets cleared, so that way he does not stay in the jail because of that.
Have any information on that?
So on the third count, it's going to be an NOD. I just haven't, it's been a large calendar today, so I haven't gotten to it, but it will be NOD today, that third count. We have had contact with the victim, Ms. Nguyen. She advises that she still currently resides at that location. So we will be requesting a stay away. Additionally, she is fearful for her safety along with her children's safety. And she reported to our office that there is a history of domestic violence within their relationship.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. So I've got a simple battery and a battery family violence. Is that correct?
That is correct. The third charge will be NOD.
Okay, thank you. Now, I see you there, Ms. Nguyen. If you'd like to address the court and say something more than what's been said today, I will also need for you to unmute yourself if you would like to address the court. I cannot. Yes, we still can't hear you, Ms. Nguyen. Okay, but you did talk to, I still can't hear you, Ms. Nguyen.
Yes, our victim advocate did
Okay.
speak with Ms. Nguyen.
Okay, so based on that, for the simple battery, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the battery family violence, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, making for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Nguyen. Given that she's still at the residence of Westmont Street, to stay away from the Westmont Street address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. Third-party transfer for visitation of the children, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Your client has his hand up, Ms. Kim.
Mr. Nguyen, you have a right to remain silent. It is the best not to say anything. Give me a call. I'll be happy to discuss the case with you.
All right.
I work in that residence. She doesn't, that's my primary residence, and like I work there. She doesn't live there. I'm pretty sure she can verify that if she can figure out how to live her family.
Ms. Nguyen, can you hear me? Okay, do you still live at the Westmont Street address? Shake your head, yes or no? I mean, that's.
Swear to God.
Your Honor, like I said, we spoke with her. She does have
Okay.
intentions of moving elsewhere, but she said she may need at least a few weeks at a minimum. So
Okay.
as of right now, she still resides there. She's been unable to
Okay,
leave or
so.
elsewhere.
So
we
while Ms. Nguyen is living at that location, Mr. Nguyen cannot be there. But if she moves out of the location, then Mr. Nguyen can reside there.
Thank you.
She doesn't live there. She can verify she doesn't live there. It's yes or no. I live there. Primarily, that's my home. I pay for that every month. She knows that.
You'll have to work that out down the road, Mr. Nguyen. She has told the solicitor's office that she's still living there, and she has indicated to the court today that that she is still living there. So So at this time, you can go back there on one occasion and retrieve your belongings. Once she moves out, then you can move back in. All right, good luck to you all. Who do we have next?
I'm sorry, position 16, Bradley.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon. Judge Eric Morrow, this is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? And this is it Ridley?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You have been charged in case 23 CR 005578J with simple battery. Is there a history?
32 cycles. Last arrest, October of 2021 for battery domestic violence out of Florida. Appears to have an open case out of DeKalb County for aggravated assault. That was from 2020. 2 FTAs, both in 2020. A theft conviction 2017 out of Ohio. A theft conviction 2008 and 2014 out of Illinois. And then a 2006 theft conviction out of Illinois. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. White?
Yes, the state is going to ask for a $2,500 surety bond with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further contact with the victim or no further violent contact. Stay away from the location. This happened at, just for the record, at 1270 West Peachtree Street. And the apartment number, suite number is 2, Atlanta, Georgia. The victim is Marixa Nicole Thomas. And it seems that Miss Ridley was upset about her check being short or something, and she ended up striking Marixa at this address. And we're asking for a $2,500 surety bond because she seems to have a bit of a record. And
Okay. Thank you, Mr. White. If Ms. Marixa Thomas is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Melnick.
Yes, Your Honor. My client does have ties to the community. She is a business owner. At this time, the company she was working for was a caregiver service. And she went to the office because they did short her for the check. I know this is not the trial today. I always say that, but they did get it that they missed. My client was there at the scene, and it really is a two-sided sort of allegation or incident. Given that my client does have ties, she has her own business also, we would ask for a $2,000 signature bond.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Thomas. Stay away from 1270 West Peachtree Street, number 2, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you.
Position 26, Walker.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to step away for 1 minute. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
Is this your case, Ms. Melnick?
No, Your Honor, I'm just going to step away.
Okay, you're fine. Mr. Walker, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005588D with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
3 cycles. Last arrest, April of this year for driving my license suspended or revoked. 1 open case for terroristic threats and possession of a firearm. I'm sorry, terroristic threats and possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 22 CP 207909, and nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 557 Westlake Avenue. They spoke with the victim, Miss Adriana Parks, and I do believe Miss Parks is on the Zoom, where she advised to the law enforcement officer that the defendant grabbed her by the neck and I believe pushed her to the ground. The state is asking for a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Miss Adriana Parks, and a stay away from the incident location, 557 Westlake Avenue. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and I would ask that the court sound for Ms. Parks.
Ms. Parks, I see you there with us. This is your opportunity to address the court if you choose to. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. If Ms. Parks is with us, it does not appear as if she, oh, there she goes. Ms. Parks, are you with us? Have you had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Parks, Mr. Walker?
I'm checking now, Your Honor.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, he is 23 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia, Your Honor. And he is actually residing with his grandmother. He wants no further violent contact because their relationship is still moving forward. This happened on March 2023. And yet he has no objection to no further contact and stay away from their location either. They do have two kids together, 23 months and then 1 year old, Your Honor. He has been working at McDonald's for last 6 years. However, his income is not that high, so he's still qualified for signature on bond because he is residing with his 2 minor children and he pays for them 100%. So he is financially responsible for them. He's the one who pays for the rent, which is a lot of money, and he graduated from high school. We would like to request for a signature on bond, and yet if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond because of the open case, we would like to request for a maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
Anything you can tell me about that open case, Mr. Walker?
I'm looking into it, but to answer your earlier question, we did speak with the victim. She advised that she is not necessarily fearful of the defendant. However, they have had previous incidents of domestic violence.
Does not appear that Ms. Parks has rejoined us.
And then I'm pulling up the felony matter to see who are. She is the victim in his open felony case, and that's a
Okay.
felony terroristic threat. Trying to see if I can pull up the bond order. I can't always pull it up in Superior Court matters, but I'm attempting now. So there is a no contact and there's a stay away, but the stay away is a different location.
As such, it is going to be a $2,000 good bond. no further contact with Ms. Parks, stay away from the Westlake address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. Third-party transfer for visitation of the minor children, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, for the record, I just want to clarify that this incident happened before that bond order was actually ordered, about 2 weeks before that. This happened on March 19. I believe the order was done on March 30, so he did not break any bond condition.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Kim.
Well, hold on, no,
he's-
that's incorrect. That's incorrect. The first case is from 2022. It's my understanding, this case is from 2023.
Never mind, I apologize.
You have the
I thought
months
that was
right,
20
years wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't, you're off, sorry.
Okay.
I tried.
The bond order stands. Good luck to
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Walker.
Position 17, Robinson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005579A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
Yes, I show 3 cycles, 2 open cases, aggravated assault and possession of a firearm under the commission of a felony, 21 SC 177755. And then the second open case is terroristic threats, criminal trespass, criminal damage to property, and battery family violence, 22 CP 214740, and an FTA from 2022. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. White?
Yes, we're asking for a $2,500 surety bond on this with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, of course, no further contact with the victim or no further violent contact, and a 1-day anger awareness course. That'll be all from the state.
I need to know what happened.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
1 second. I have to pull this back up. I don't have it in front of me. Sorry. Almost there. Computer's running slow. Got it. Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge, can I add one more thing while he's looking at it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Ms. Roberts.
He has another open case for simple battery, 23 CR 005478A. It looks like that was from the 13th of this month.
Okay, thank you.
And nothing further. You're welcome.
And he is from the 13th of this month?
Yes.
Okay.
So the officer was dispatched to 548 Tarragon Way to investigate a report of a disturbance. And when he got there, he met with Janetta Robinson and said she had no visible injuries and advised that there was a verbal dispute with her son, that he basically became enraged and started destroying things, throwing things around, and basically broke the blinds and all kinds of stuff like that. But there was no visible injury, which is why he was just charged with simple battery.
Okay. Ms. Melnick?
Yes, Your Honor. My client and his mother were living together when they got into the situation, this incident. My client is able to go live with his sister. We did discuss that he may not, when the court granted bond, we were probably not going to be able to go back to his mother's house. We are requesting a $2,500 signature bond to the jail. And I did want to highlight that it's a simple battery. There were no visible injuries there.
Anything further, Ms. Melnick?
No, Your Honor, there were no, I think I cut out. Sorry, there were no visible injuries, but a few things were thrown around, but no one was hurt.
Okay, let's see. Janetta Robinson's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. All right, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Janetta Robinson. Stay away from the Tarragon Way address. If need be, he can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Position 11, Jones.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a Alexandria Bradley. Is that not the victim in the case?
No, it was
Was
the plaintiff witness is
Janetta
Janetta Robinson.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
no
what I have.
problem. Thank you.
And okay.
Position 11, Jones.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Is it okay if we conduct the hearing by video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Jones, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005566E with theft by taking. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
6 cycles, last arrest, 2017 for driving while license suspended or revoked. That was a conviction. And then a DUI conviction in 1992 in New York, and nothing further.
Mr. White?
Thank you, Your Honor. Looks like he was observed stealing by other employees at the job. I think he was working there at Sam's Club. Camera also caught him on the camera actually stealing. He actually signed a letter of his admission, stealing items totaling less than $1,500. The location of the Sam's Club is 10600 Davis Drive, Alpharetta, Georgia. The state is asking for a $2,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and to stay away from the Sam Club's location. That'll be all from the state.
Ms. Malik, I'm going to give him a signature bond, $1,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from the Sam's Club on Davis Drive, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Melnick?
I love to argue, but yes.
Okay, I just want to, if you want to talk me out of it, I'm happy to let you.
The good attorney knows when to be quiet. I hope.
Good luck to you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Ms. Melton.
Position 25, Turner.
Good afternoon, Mr. Turner. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Turner, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005587E with loitering and prowling. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
6 cycles, last arrest was July of this year for theft by shoplifting and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. I did not see a disposition in that case. 2019 conviction for disorderly conduct and battery, and then a 2015 conviction for a fray. And nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the Lenox Hill condos located at 970 Sidney Marcus Boulevard. They spoke to one of the residents at that condominium who's also on the HOA board. She advised that the defendant was not a resident and he was in their gym area, which is obviously a private area. Law enforcement officers made contact with the defendant. He did not have any valid reason as to why he was at the location. He was taken into custody at that time. The state is asking for a $1,000 surety bond. I believe that there's a $1,500 surety bond that's been previously set by the magistrate, but the state is asking for a $1,000 surety bond and no contact or stay away from that instant location of 970 Sidney Marcus Boulevard.
Okay with you, Mr. Mueller, it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from the Lenox Hill condos on Sidney Marcus Boulevard, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you? Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
all right, good luck to you, Mr. Turner.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't go back to those apartments.
No.
Position 14, Rochelle.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Rochelle. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, y'all.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005576J with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
18 cycles. The last arrest was from August 14th of this year for domestic abuse, violence, and violation of protective order in Louisiana. That case appears to be open. Appears to be on probation for contraband out of Louisiana, which ends on November 6, 2024. And then a battery conviction in 2018 out of Louisiana, and nothing further.
Let's see, who's presenting for the state?
Sorry, I am.
Yes, Mr. White, you can proceed.
Okay, just a second. So a police officer was dispatched to the lower level of the Garnett train station in reference to a domestic violence altercation. And upon their arrival, there was an Atlanta police officer who stated that Rachel was grabbing his girlfriend, Alexis Burns, by the hair and slammed into a wall, struck her with a closed fist, and the incident was caught and reviewed on the CCTV camera. And the officer looked at the victim. She didn't have any visible cuts or bruises. So he was charged with simple battery. And the state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further contact with the victim, no further violence contact with the victim, and 1-day anger awareness.
Okay, Ms. Burns, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You'll have to unmute yourself, activate your camera. And yes, ma'am, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
The whole altercation, like I said, I don't even remember everything because I had a lot to drink, like way too much to drink. And I really couldn't tell you what had led up to it, but supposedly I had also, I don't know how far back they went on the video, but supposedly I had spit in his face and swung at him and kicked him. The whole reason that he was concerned about me is because I kept like trying to run off from him. Why? I don't know. But I also didn't have my phone. So if I ran off, I would have never found my hotel or nothing like that. So he kept trying like to get me to not run off. And that's how the altercation started. I think that we both just, I don't need to be drinking no more. That everything was completely his fault. So that's kind of how it went. What's that?
Are you from Louisiana? Are you living in Louisiana at the present time?
Yes, sir. And I also had to come back without him because I didn't have enough money to stay.
So he's gonna have to, I'll have to bail him out, and hopefully there's somebody he can just sign out, because I can't afford a plane ticket back over there.
What, there've been some, apparently, some domestic abuse and protective orders in Louisiana. Does that have anything to do with you?
No, sir.
Okay, what about the 2018 battery? Did that have anything to do with you?
No, we never had anything. That's with his ex, and she also never filed none of that until we got together. So I think all of those charges are mostly a revenge thing.
Okay, and has this ever happened between the two of you before?
No, sir.
Are you afraid of him?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ms. Melnick?
Yes, Your Honor. My client and Ms. Burns and with their mother-in-law had traveled in here from Louisiana to take his daughter, who lives in Atlanta, to the soccer game on Saturday, where Messier did not show up. So that's player. And so anyway, it was supposed to be a big thing. They were celebrating a little heavily on they're celebrating very heavily on Saturday night when this took place. They do live together. I did speak to him. He can stay with his mother in Louisiana. Like I said, he does have some ties, and that his daughter is here in the Atlanta area, and she's a minor.
No, we're all from Louisiana. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Okay, I'll let you speak again in turn, Ms. Burns, if you want to clarify some things, but let me have Ms. Melnick finish up with her thoughts, okay?
Okay.
Okay. My understanding was the daughter lived here. If I didn't, that she lived in Atlanta. If regardless, they did think there was a lot of copious amounts of alcohol involved when this incident occurred. We are asking the court for a $2,500 signature bond on this case.
It's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Burns, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Rachel, I'm going to allow you to sign your own bond, but if you do not show back up for your court date, then just know that they're going to put a warrant out for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to y'all.
Position number 1, emoji.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Emoji. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Mr. Emoji, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005567E with theft by taking. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
7 cycles, last arrest June of this year for theft by taking. That is an open case, 23 CR 003883E. A 2019 conviction for driving while license suspended or revoked. A 2018 conviction for simple assault. And then an open case out of Cobb for simple battery, willful obstruction, a misdemeanor CWAC, and an FTA. That's from June of 2023. Nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Your Honor, I think the bond is currently set. I think it's set at $1,000 surety is reasonable. The reason that I think it's reasonable, brief history of or brief facts of the case is that allegedly the defendant and the victim were on a date. The victim stepped away to the restroom only to return to the table, I guess, and to discover that the defendant had taken her purse. Inside of the purse was United States currency, a cellular phone, as well as her car keys. Further investigation with the assistance of staff pointed out to the idea that it was the victim the defendant that had taken the purse. We had an opportunity to talk to the victim. The victim states that the defendant was actually trying, or in the process of trying, to locate the vehicle so that he could use the car keys to get inside the vehicle and take the vehicle. Luckily for the victim, ultimately police were able to catch up to the defendant, and the defendant was in possession of the car keys and in possession of the cellular phone. And so for those reasons, Your Honor, as we've heard his criminal history, we believe that he has a likelihood to reoffend. We think the $1,000 surety bond is currently set as reasonable. And we'd ask for no further contact with the victim. And I believe that is all, Your Honor, at this time.
Do you have the alleged victim's name?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. Your Honor, that victim's name is, it's going to be Kalinda, Lida, Poindexter, traditional spelling Pointdexter. And Your Honor, to be honest with you, for that matter, because he participated in a crime there, we'd ask for a stay away from the incident location. That incident location would be 849 Edgewood, Atlanta, Georgia, 30307. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Ms. Poindexter, I think that I see you there. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You do not have to, but if you'd like to, you'll have to activate your camera, unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in.
Alrighty.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Good afternoon.
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I'm just still in shock and disbelief that had even happened. Thankfully, everything happened so quickly and they were able to catch him. I do believe that he was trying to steal my car. I'm just glad that I left my purse, because I don't know how much further it would have went or to what extent it could have gotten.
Okay. What is the 849 Edgewood? What location is that?
That's a strip of bars.
Okay. And so you had met him there? Do you know Mr. Emoji?
No, we had just met that day, and come to find out, he had actually gave me a fake name.
Okay. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Anything further?
No, that's all.
Okay. And before I go to Ms. Abden, Mr. Pierre Thomas, would you find out a bit, if you could, about the June allegations of theft by taking and what the bond was on that? Can you do that for the court?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, and maybe I don't know if Mr. Walker's on the line. If he could assist. If you have any difficulty with that, I'd appreciate it. Yes, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 33 years old. He's lived in Georgia his whole life. He's a veteran. He served in the Marine Corps as an ammunition specialist, and he was honorably discharged. While he was in the military, he spent some time in California. Otherwise, he's been in Georgia and has substantial ties to the community. He also tells me he's very involved in the VA. He attends PTSD groups regularly and regularly sees a counselor and a psychologist through the VA. He's currently enrolled in school at Georgia State. He studies psychology and social work. He's pursuing his bachelor's degree. He has 3 children, 2 of which reside in the home with him. They're 4 and 5. He's the primary caretaker of those 2 children and the primary breadwinner. He's also gainfully employed. He works at Dealer Services Network. He processes titles for car dealerships and also works in their warehouse. Despite his criminal history, which we've heard, he tells me that he always appears in court and understands his obligation to see this case through and will return. And those 2 open cases, I understand, are a concern for the state, but they are still open and pending. He does maintain his innocence until he's proven guilty. And he does tell me this was a misunderstanding. Without going too much into the facts, he was trying to find Miss Poindexter, and he basically was outside. He did not realize that the phone was inside of the purse. And so, Your Honor, given his familial obligations, I would ask you to consider a signature bond, and if Your Honor is not inclined, reducing the surety bond to a reasonable amount of $250.
And Your Honor, if I could give the update or the announcement, the bond on the previous case was a $2,000 surety bond. And if you would like the facts of that case, it said that he unlawfully took and appropriated electronics valued obviously at less than $1,500, the property of a separate victim with the intention of.
Okay, and do you know, do you have an indication did I give that bond? Was it, or did someone else give that bond?
I can reopen it, Your Honor. My apologies.
And Your Honor, while he does that, I just wanted to also note that he does not object to a stay away. The location is Harold's Chicken and Ice Bar. I believe that they were on a date there, or a no further contact with the complaining witness.
Okay. That's fine, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Judge Mincy gave the other bond, Your Honor.
Say it again, Mr. Walker.
It was Judge Mincy who gave the other bond in the previous case.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to leave the bond where it is, $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Poindexter, stay away from Harold's Chicken restaurant at 849 Edgewood, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Emoji. You also, Ms. Poindexter. Thank you for being here.
Sorry, Judge, I walked off. What is? the
Okay.
number?
So 1,000 good.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're good. Position 24, Tolliver. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tolliver. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Tolliver, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005586A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
2 cycles. Last arrest was from February of 2021 for simple assault, family violence, simple battery, family violence, and criminal damage to property. That case was dismissed. 1 FTA from 2015, no convictions, nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 219 Broad Street. They spoke with the victim, Ms. Sharice Hector. She advised that her and the defendant lived together. They had a verbal altercation about him having company over to the house, at which time he did become physical. He did slap and bite the victim. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond to the 1 count of battery family violence. No further contact with the victim, Sharice Hector. Stay away from the incident location, 219 Broad Street, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And of course, I would sound for the victim is Sharice Hector.
If Ms. Hector is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Has your office spoken with her, Mr. Walker?
I'm double checking right now, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Who's representing Mr. Tolliver?
I am, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I did speak to my client. He does have significant ties to the community. His mother lives here. In fact, I did discuss that he would probably not be allowed to go back to Broad Street. That's the address, but he can go live with his mother at 429 Elder Street in Fairburn, Georgia. He does have 1 son here. And he works in a warehouse, so he is gainfully employed. We would ask for a $2,500 signature bond on this case.
Okay. Mr. Walker, any indication? You're on mute.
Ian, you're on mute.
Sorry, Your Honor, my computer keeps freezing. It's been a day. We have had contact with the victim. I believe that she stated she is not fearful of the defendant.
Okay. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Sharice Hector, stay away from the Broad Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Tolliver.
I'm sorry, Judge, what was the bond amount?
A $3,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Position 23, Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I agree.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005584Y with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
8 cycles. Last arrest was from September of 2020 for simple battery. That was a conviction in 2021. 1 other simple battery, family violence, 2006 conviction, and 1 FTA from 2005, and nothing further.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 3540 East Main Street, where they spoke to the victim, Miss Victoria Reed. She advised that her and the defendant were engaged in a verbal altercation, at which time he did become physical. He struck her in her mouth several times. Their 14-year-old child was present, and the 14-year-old actually had to pull a firearm to defend his mother, and that's the only reason why the defendant left or stopped beating her, if you will. The state is going to be asking for a $3,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, and a stay away from the incident location. No weapons, drugs, and alcohol as well.
5 for the cruelty and 3,000 for the battery.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Melnick?
Yes, Your Honor. My client does have ties to the community and that he can go and live with his mother. He has been a mechanic for the city of Atlanta for the last 2 years. And then prior to that, he was a mechanic for the city of East Point for 5 years. So he is gainfully employed, and we are anxious about and I don't understand about a girl, because the affidavit and the arrest warrant said that they had they've been in a relationship for 3 years and have a son together. So and so any of the other stuff about some girl gun, none of that is in the affidavit. I did not see anything about that, but we just asked the court to look how gainfully employed. He has steady employment. The purpose of the bond granted is to ensure no further violence to the community. We have no objection to a stay away and to go live somewhere else, and that you assure them that they will be back in court. So that's why we're asking for $2,500 signature bond.
The $1,500 good bond makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Reed. Stay away from the 3540 East Main Street address. He can go back to that address if need be on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
That's fine.
Will you repeat that bond? You were breaking up.
500 for the cruelty, good. 1,500 for the battery, good. 2,000 good total.
That's good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're welcome, Ms. Bridgewater.
Position 4, Carter. Come on. I'm ready for both. Let me make sure I wrote it on the phone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Carter, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005595Y with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, public drunk, and simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
15 cycles. Last arrest September of 2022 for simple battery and terroristic threats. That case was dismissed. 2021 conviction for DUI in Pennsylvania. A 2018 conviction for violation of drugs and cosmetic act out of Pennsylvania. An arrest out of Utah from 2021 for interference with arresting officer, assault and intoxication and disorderly conduct. That case appears to be open and nothing further.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
the state's, is that me?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
My apologies. Your Honor, the state's position is that the bond is currently set is appropriate. As it is currently set, I believe it is 600 for the willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, 1,000 for what was originally disorderly conduct but changed to public drunkenness, and then 1,000 for the simple battery. We've heard that he has violence in his history as well as similar crimes in his history. Your Honor, I'll just go ahead and preface this by saying we have not had contact with the victim because this is a cross warrant case, I do believe. But the allegations is that he struck the victim in the face with a fist. As it relates to the simple battery, the allegation as it relates to the disorderly conduct that was ultimately changed to public drunkenness, that he was observed on scene or found on scene with alcohol next to him. Am I the only one hearing?
I can hear you, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Okay, he was found on scene with an alcoholic bottle next to him. He admitted to drinking. While being transported to the Grady Hospital, he yelled out several profanities and obscenities towards the officers, and that behavior continued well into Grady. And the indicia for the willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer in its misdemeanor capacity is that he resisted arrest. And so for those reasons, Your Honor, the criminal history and the nature of the case is currently set as reasonable.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 49 years old. He has his GED. He moved to Georgia 2 years ago for a job opportunity. He's a father to 2 children, both of which are minors, and he's responsible for child support for those 2 children. And so his financial obligation to his children is a concern. He is residentially insecure, yet he's been gainfully employed for the past month. I do have a mailing address for my client, so him returning back to court and receiving a notice to return back is not a concern. And I've also connected him with our social workers to assist him with housing. He's working at First Step. It's a temp agency, and he's been working there for the past month. He's very concerned that if he doesn't get out of jail, he will lose his job. So his indigency is a concern. His earnings and income are as well. He's supposed to be at work today and needs to be released so he does not lose his job. And setting the bond as is requested by the state would amount to no bond at all for my client. He cannot afford any amount of bond at this time. And so I'm requesting a signature bond, and he would be okay with a stay away, a no further contact, and that is all.
Your Honor, if I could just put on the record, in addition to the standard stay away and further contact, if we could, because of his history with alcohol, with that DUI and the presence of alcohol in its relation to the case, if we could have a no drugs, alcohol, or firearm provision in this case as well, that'd be great.
And if you gave it to me, Mr. Pierre Thomas, I failed to make a note of it. The name of the alleged victim and the stay away address.
One moment, Your Honor.
I have that. Do you want me to give it?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's Justin Christopher Lambert. And
Okay.
the address is 141 Pryor Street Southwest.
Thank you. So, Mr. Carter, I don't want you to lose your job, so I'm going to give you a signature bond, okay? So it's going to be a $500 signature bond for the obstruction, a $500 signature bond for the public drunk, a $1,000 signature bond for the simple battery, makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Justin Lambert. Stay away from 141 Pryor Street, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Position 6, Doss.
Good afternoon, Mr. Doss. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Doss. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005571F with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history?
Yes, 5 cycles. Last arrest, October of 2022 for purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, or sale of marijuana, and receipt, possess, or transport of a firearm by a convicted felon. That is an open case, 22 CP 213309. A second open case for possession of a firearm by convicted felon and possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, 23 SC 188697. A aggravated assault and armed robbery conviction, 2007. Simple battery conviction, 2005. Death by shoplifting conviction, 2004. And nothing further.
Mr.
Yeah.
Pierre Thomas?
I do recognize that it is in opposite to the case here, but I just want to point out that according to our records, there is also a conviction for aggravated assault and armed robbery. But as it relates to this case, Your Honor, the facts of this case is essentially that an officer was in pursuit of another suspect, a separate suspect from the defendant here, and the defendant is alleged to have committed or have helped him or assist him in getting away from said officer. Because of the nature of the crime, Your Honor, I think that the appropriate recommendation from the state would be a $600 good bond.
How would he eventually help somebody get away?
It doesn't say that the warrant is quite bare.
All right, okay with you, Ms. Abden, it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Abden?
That would be great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Doss. Ms. Kim, do you have a client before us today, or you?
It's the final, position 10, Judge.
Position 10,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing you there, Ms. Kim. If you would have let me know early, I would have tried to get you in and
No,
out.
it's fine, Judge. I got a 6 o'clock hearing with DeKalb County, so I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Last one.
Mr. Hill, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Hill, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005570B with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
One prior from 2013 out of Illinois for battery. The disposition was not filed for that case and nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Your Honor, the facts of this case are essentially that the officer was called to a fight call at 187 Edgewood Avenue, Southeast Atlanta in Fulton County. While there, he observed that a sergeant was already there. A sergeant had the opportunity to observe the victim, Miss Robertson, exiting a moving vehicle. After having conducted additional investigation, it was told to the officers that while in said vehicle, the defendant struck Miss Robertson in the face, causing her to have a swollen and bloody lip. And he elbowed her in the face, causing her to have a swollen and bloody lip, and he punched her in the arm. As a result of that, officers then took the defendant into custody. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is that the defendant receive a $3,000 good bond. We've had the opportunity to speak with the victim in this case. I do believe that she may be on the call. The victim does not want to have any further contact with the defendant. She'd also be requesting a stay away provision. And I'd just like to note that the relationship between the two parties is that they share 2 children together and that they were in a relationship, at least at the point of the incident. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, if this is Robertson that's on the line under JoJo, is this you, Ms. Robertson?
Yes, that's me. How are you?
I'm doing well, ma'am. Would you like to address the court this afternoon?
I will.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Well, I would first like to say, Your Honor, that I have not seen my kids since Friday. Since this incident has happened, I have been having a very hard time getting my kids back from his mother. She's in town visiting from Chicago. She has blocked my number. She is not responding to text messages, and she is intentionally withholding the kids from me.
Ms. Robertson, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do in regard to that. Is there something that you want to tell me about this incident and what your wishes are as it relates to contact with Mr. Hill or no contact?
Yes, Your Honor, I want Devonta Hill to stay away from me. We do live together. I want to leave the apartment. I will leave. I want to be free from this. I want my kids to come with me, and I am asking for some type of support. I don't mind him having visitation rights, but we do have a history. And I know that if I don't leave today, then this will not be the last time that something like this will happen.
And if I could just point out that the incident location and the location that's requested to be stayed away from are different. They live together at in a separate location.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Robertson?
No, Your Honor, the main priority for me right now is the safety of myself and my kids. And I know that you said that you cannot help me, but my kids have missed school and I have not been able to get them back from his mom. I do have text message proof to prove that. Okay.
I'm sorry, ma'am. This is just a bond hearing, so you will have to.
I called the police. I have a police report, and I'm working on that separately.
Okay. All right. I just want you to know, man, this is just a bond hearing today. Okay. All right. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Judge, thank you. My client's 32 years old. They do have two minor children, ages 2 and 6, a daughter and a son. He still is employed gainfully. He has minimal criminal history. Has been indicated he is a college graduate. He graduated from the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, Bachelor's of Science in Finance. Judge, when the alleged victim, Ms. Robertson, talks about they have prior history, just for the court's edification, my client was actually the victim on 2 matters in Cobb County. Unfortunately, he agreed to cooperate against her for her so that she would not be convicted. In 2019, she was arrested for criminal trespass, damage to property under $500, simple battery, physical harm. She was later charged with battery, family violence. My client was the victim on that case. I have multiple pictures of him with slashes on his face, bloody hands. We have a video of her threatening my client with a knife, and he's just trying to work it home. He's been largely the victim, and this is the only case where she has been the alleged victim. He's 6'1", weighs about approximately 200 pounds. My understanding, she's about 5'3", 5'4", 110 pounds. Somehow she is able to intimidate him, threaten him, injure him. And he's tolerated all this because of his minor children. He's hoping to keep it together, but based on my conversations with his family, he probably needs to get a pretty good child custody lawyer, and they need to work the resolution for the best interest of the children, hopefully, and not, their interest. But we would ask if you would consider a signature bond, $2,500. He will have to get a new apartment, new place. Luckily, this current lease runs out in November, so I don't think he wants to stay there. But if you could consider that, and if there could be a third party handoff of the children so that he does want to be in his children's life.
And I neglected to mention, based on statements in the report and what the officer saw, the defendant was actually attempting to push her out of said moving vehicle.
It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Robertson, stay away from the Edgewood Avenue address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. There'll be third-party transfer for visitation of any minor children, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused? I'm sorry.
Yes, have a good day. Good luck to you, Mr. Hill. Good luck to you also, Ms. Robertson.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Judge, we're completed here in courtroom 2.
Okay, thank you so much. I will
Thank you, Judge Morrow.
see you all tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
You're gonna be with me. You're gonna be with me in the morning.
Yes, I'll be here, Judge.
Okay, I'll see you then. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, let's see, Ms. Bridgewater, whenever you are ready, we're gonna go over the calendar. And
we were having such a good time. I don't know if I'm ready to do this.
well, I can keep you here, Ms. Bridgewater. You gonna order us all dinner?
Why not?
You know, I can come up with an argument.
Okay, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is October the 3rd. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 3 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 4 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. 5 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 6 reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 7 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 8 reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. 9 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. 10 reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. 11. Did we do that? It got kind of hectic there, so I may have a couple I may need some assistance with.
Jail.
Okay, you keep breaking up for some reason. Will you repeat that, please?
SOB through the jail.
SOB through the jail for what amount?
1,000.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, 12 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 13 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 14 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 15 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 16 SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 17 SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 18 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. 19 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 20. I know that was one of our first ones. Can someone help me out on that right quick?
$2,000 pretrial.
And I have all the conditions and things already. Okay. 21 is being reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. If I'm not mistaken, these here have the same conditions. 22 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. 23 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. 24 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 25 reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 26 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 27 reset further notice with a $10,000 SOB through the jail. Position 28 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 29 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 30 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. 31 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. And for the add-on, we're doing reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, corrections, or otherwise?
If not, thank you all. It's a big calendar today, so I appreciate
Now, big is not the word.
I was expecting to be like, when I saw the number, expecting there to be like a bus or like a protesters or some commonality to it, but there wasn't.
It was bad enough. Let's put it that way.
I know, but I was expecting all of them to be like in a group. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yes,
but we got through it.
We did.
We got through
Thank
it.
you guys.
So we'll have fun again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
I'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.